excited to see you all. Monday it is again. So we have some awesome speakers today. Is Miranda on here? Is she on here yet? Okay. Oh, there, I see you. I just didn't see you before. So we have some amazing speakers and we are going to get right to it. We have Gloria first up, and it's all about why Youngliving, why are we using these products, and why are we doing this business? So I hope you are majorly inspired by today. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, I love Mondays. I love seeing your faces, and it's so nice to see like people paired up with other people now. I'm digging that, right? It's good. So for those who don't know me, my name is Gloria Mclean, and I got started on this oily journey almost 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years in July. It has been the most incredible 4 years of my life. Yeah, it's just been amazing. I was very skeptical and very stubborn. I don't know if it was so much about being skeptical about like a toxin-free lifestyle. It was just, I had been burnt by a network marketing company before Youngliving. I had spent a lot of money, I made no money. And I just thought like, I'm just never gonna do that again. Like, it's great if other people are good at it, but it just isn't for me. And so I met the lovely Lisa Blackstock. She worked a day or two at the Hive, which was a restaurant I was managing full time, working about 60 hours a week. At the time, I thought I loved my job, which I look back and I think that's crazy. And so for 7 months, Lisa would bring me samples and like come in smelling amazing, or come back from a trip and just like, you could feel her energy and you could tell that she loved it. Like, it was very authentic, but I just still was like, friends forever, MLMs never. Not for me. And then I ran into a health scare in the middle of July in 2016. I ended up being hospitalized. I had lived with chronic pain since I was in my early 20s, and with that came a lot of really heavy medications. I eventually was able to get myself off of all those medications because I'm just the person that, like, if you give me a medication, I have all the side effects. Like, that's just me, even birth control. Like, if it's like, this is what it may cause, like, I will get all of those things. And so I got myself off of that. I started really like cleaning up my diet and really paying attention to the toxins like in my food. But I never thought to look into the toxins in my products, like what I was washing my hair with, what I was washing my face with, the makeup I was using. And anywho, I started feeling better, but I was still taking Advil to get through the day. I had 2 kids at the time. I have an acreage and just life, work, you know. So I was taking about 6 to 8 extra strength Advil a day, every day for quite a few years. And I ended up burning a hole through my stomach lining, basically. And that ended me in the hospital. And there I was told if I continued on the path I was on, I wouldn't live to see my daughter, who was 11 at the time, graduate high school. So that was a super low point in my health. And I felt hopeless, but I thought, well, I've got nowhere else to turn. I've got nothing else to lose. Like, Lisa's been trying to tell me for 7 months that these oils can help me. Like, where else can I turn? I might as well just try. At the time, I was still very skeptical. I thought like oils smelled pretty. I did not think they were going to help me with my health still. And so I got back to work about a week later, and Lisa was working, and I said, I'm ready to get that stupid starter kit. And she said, I have one in my trunk. And she ran and grabbed it, and I spent $199. And I thought, instant mom guilt is what I had, because I just didn't spend money on myself at the time. We were in a lot of debt and like stressed out about money as it was. So like justifying spending that kind of money on myself for something that I didn't even know what it would do for me was just like a very hard pill to swallow. But I got home and right away my house smelled amazing. So I loved that, because I live in like an old farmhouse on an acreage. So I was like, okay, my house smells good. Like, it's a win. And then I started having like these little wins. Like, I would message Lisa and she would tell me like, oh, try this for your inflammation and put this in the bath, and just having that kind of support, which is another reason I just love Youngliving, because if you buy an oil from a store, you're walking out of there alone. But if you join Youngliving, you have all this support. And I didn't know anything about oils, so I needed all the support. And so I started having these little wins, and I just kind of thought like, it's all a coincidence. It can't be the oil. I had a lot of water today. Maybe it's because I had a good sleep. Like, you just think like, it can't be plants. And then all of a sudden I kind of put it together like, okay, yeah, these oils are amazing. They are as amazing as Lisa's been telling me. And it was not like I used one oil and I was cured overnight. It was 3 months of really like ditching and switching the chemical cleaners, not using candles, getting Ninja into my life. But 3 months in, I was pain free. So I joined Young Living for selfish reasons. I joined for my own health. I didn't see beyond that at the time, to be honest with you. I never thought I would do the business. And, you know, now I sit here pain free. So that's amazing. That's one thing Young Living has done for me. I could probably talk for like 4 days about the things Young Living has done for me, but we're going to try and keep it short. So I was pain-free 3 months in, and my husband was then on board after 3 months. He was the biggest skeptic of all, by the way. Like, he called them wizard tears and fairy farts. And he was like, whatever makes you happy, but like, I don't believe in them. But then 3 months in, he was like, I have my wife back. So that was huge. And that at that point, like, I couldn't shut up about oils, and I just started telling everyone who would listen to me. But why I started sharing, first of all, you fall in love with something, it's just natural to tell people about it. Like, if you find a really good pair of pants, you want to tell your girlfriends like where you got those pants from. If you're a good friend, you're going to do that anyway. So I was naturally telling people at work, kind of thing. But it wasn't until I couldn't get the day off for my daughter's first day of school that it really hit me that I was spending all of my time and energy building somebody else's dream. And where I was in my business, I couldn't grow. I couldn't make more money. I could not possibly work any more than I was working. And I was struggling paycheck to paycheck. So it wasn't even getting ahead in life. So it just kind of all came crashing down on me that day. I spent most of the day crying in the cooler because I was at the restaurant. So in between customers, I would just go and like have a minute and like, just like, what am I doing? And for me, that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I had missed Mother's Day. I had missed New Year's Eve. I had missed like the Christmas train night that we have in our community. Like, any of the big moments that were important, I was missing out on. And so Lisa came into work that afternoon to take the shift after me. And I said, do you actually make real money at this? And she said, yeah, I do. And I said, okay. And then I told her about my day, and we had a good cry. And then she showed me her paycheck, which was about $3,200 at the time. And she was a silver leader at the time. And I was blown away. $3,000 to me was like, if I could make that and work from home, like, that was the lottery of life. Like, I couldn't even see bigger than that. I was like, that is when I've made it. Like, that's what I thought. We've since blown past that, which is bananas. But so she was like, yeah, like, start coming to some classes. So I started doing that, but it wasn't until November. I ended up in Vegas at a GoPro event, which was a network marketing event. Lisa's really good at like getting people to those things. And there was a mom that got on stage. She was a top earner in like all of network marketing. And she started off as a nurse, and she got on stage and she was sharing about how she couldn't get the day off for her son's first birthday. And she just started bawling on the stage. And I was like in the back in the nosebleed section at this event of like 8,000 people, like bawling. And I felt like I was there to connect to her. And so her why of like wanting to be home, like, spoke to my why. And so I went back after that event, and I told a room full of strangers that I was going to quit my job in a year and that I would be gold in a year. And so, yeah, I had to do it because I told a bunch of people. So tell people your goals and dreams out loud. And we worked really hard, and we were able to hit gold. And yeah, we were able to hit gold 1 year later, and platinum 10 months after that. And we are like dancing our way to diamond this month, you guys. So it's just crazy what this journey can do for you. So why did I start? Like I said, I started selfish. Why do I continue to share? Because I know that there are so many people who are living in the struggle I was living in, and living paycheck to paycheck, and arguing with their spouse, and not having time for their families, and not having those important moments. And so, like, how can I ever stop sharing? I never will. Like, even when I'm a Royal Crown Diamond twice over, I will keep doing 101s, and I will keep sharing, because there's somebody out there like me that needs this information so desperately, because this is a gift. When I first started, I was in $100,000 worth of debt. I was living in chronic pain. My husband and I's relationship was not great. I did not have the best circle of friends around me. And where I am now, 4 years later, is I have the best community ever in my life. Why do I always get emotional? But like, the people is like the biggest gift of all, you guys, the community. And like right when you get your kit, you're plugged into that. So you're already winning. Just saying. We were able to pay off our debt. My husband and I get along better than ever, because who knew that like money causes a lot of problems. And when you have it, there's a lot less stress, you guys. So it's just been the most incredible journey. And I'm grateful to Lisa every single day that she didn't give up on me, because I was very stubborn. So if you have someone in your life that you know this will change their life, just don't give up on them and keep loving on them. Keep bringing them little samples. They secretly love it, even if they don't tell you right away. It's just been the most amazing thing. And I think even more so now, like sitting on this side in a leadership position, when you watch the people that are on your team crush like their big goals and you see their lives change, it's like, it's even better than when it's yourself. Like, it's crazy, but it's just, you just think, how can this journey get any better? And then it just keeps getting better. Like, I say that to Lisa every day. I'm like, how does this keep getting better? But it does. So it's absolutely life changing. And yeah, everybody needs to do it. Red pants. Thank you.
Thank you, Glo. Yeah, that's exactly. You just need to do it. It's simple. I love it. I love your story. And I'm so grateful that we met. All those
Yeah,
years.
me too.
It just takes one person not sharing, though, just to like say, no, that's not for me, to like affect so many lives, or the exact opposite, right? So if you share, you can, like, it may not be for you, this opportunity, but maybe it's for your neighbor. Maybe it's for your mom or your best friend, right? So you just never know how you're going to bless someone's life. And it's just incredible how we can be like, 20 levels deep, all because this person decided to say, okay, I need to tell you about this. And the next person decided to say, this is important. You need to hear this. And that's so cool how we can just ripple effect out. Our next speaker, we have Aaliyah coming all the way from Vegas. And woo, we miss Vegas. Hi, thank you for joining us. I'm excited to hear your story.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on, Lisa. So as Lisa said, I am Aaliyah Jenkins, and I live just outside of Vegas in Henderson, Nevada. And I'm a mom, a wife, mom of 2 boys. And the reason why I started with Youngliving, I never had a plan to ever join a MLM again. I had done 2, and both of them were very much of the upline, not helping, but demanding that I make my rank so they can make theirs. And if I didn't do it, then they wouldn't make their money. And then it just became bad. And that's how I had a view on all MLM, because that's how it was. My goal with MLMs, the 2 that I had joined, was never for myself. Yes, for myself, but it was for my husband. My husband works a job that he absolutely hates on a daily basis. He does pest control, and he does it for us. He has always brought in the money, and he's always given us everything that we've ever wanted. So my goal was, I work full time. I'm an office manager for a national healthcare company, a national healthcare doctor, and a consulting practice. I love my job. I never want to leave my job. I bring so much to patients with the doctor that I work for. So I always knew I would be doing this forever, but I wanted to be able to retire my husband. And with the 2 MLMs before, it wasn't going to happen, because I am not a pusher. I've never been a pusher. I've always been a provider, I guess you could say. Like, I want to be able to show people the love that I have and making them feel better. So at first I never thought I would do another MLM ever again. And then I got sick in November. I had a sore throat. I was just fatigued. And my best friend, who lives 2 doors down, who's part of Youngliving, Jerry Ann, came to me and she said, here's thieves and peppermint. You drink it in 32 ounces of water and you will feel better. And I was like, okay, like, I believe in natural, so let's just see how it works. I've been feeling kind of crappy for the last couple days. And I drank it for a whole day, and she didn't give me the disclaimer that you shouldn't drink it at night, because it keeps you awake. So I was awake for like a whole day, but I felt amazing. My throat didn't hurt anymore. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Let me order the starter kit. And she's like, okay, well, you can just do ER, or if you wanted to do the business. And I was like, listen, I'm in. I'll get the starter kit and let me start working on myself and my family. And he's now 10. So when I started with Youngliving in December, my youngest William was 9, and he struggles with attention. And not like AD, we're not sure what it is. I don't want to ever get him diagnosed, because here in the States, if you get a diagnosis, everybody gets everything off of your son's diagnosis, and I hate it. So he is special. He's my special. He had a special birth. He's my special. And gosh dang it. So William has a really hard time focusing in class. He worries about letting people down. And I kept telling Jerianne, she knows it, and she's like, let's just try peace and calming on him and see how he does. So I got my kit right when they started winter break at school. So we were doing peace and calming every day. And he went back to school, and I was like, okay, oil on the wrist, oil behind the ears. We bought him a little diffuser bracelet, and we were just hoping. And I got a text message from his teacher, and she's like, I don't know who this kid is. He doesn't put his hands in his pockets. He's speaking clearly and looking at me when he's talking. He's volunteering, which never ever happened. She's like, so I went to him, and she goes, oh, William, I'm so proud of you. And he goes, it's my oils. You want to smell my wrist? And that text message was my sealing deal. It was my okay. Like, I'm in forever. I'm in forever. So it wasn't even 2 weeks of getting my starter kit that I was like, okay, I'm starting. I'm going to spread the word like any mom would for their child. And that's my story of why, is because of William getting that message from his teacher would never ever account for anything else that I could have ever done. And so that, plus my goal of retiring my husband, is why I do Youngliving. And I've only been with Youngliving, like I said, it's going to be 6 months, and I'm just starting, and I'm starting to build, and I've hit star, and I'm trying to hit senior star, and I will keep going up. But for anybody who's new, just keep those goals. My commission is paying for my next order. And that's how I look at it, is I'm just going to keep building and helping myself get to the next level, and by helping others. And it might not be getting everybody on a starter kit. I have people who are like, I just want one oil. Great. Here's the basic kit, and here is the oil that you want. And that's how you get started. And we can slowly start to incorporate healthier things into your system. Just like my family, my oldest son, who's 13, is now dealing with the 13 acne. And he was like, Mom, does Youngliving have an acne product? We do. So it's slowly getting them on board. And now that my boys will talk to anybody about an oil or a product, and they're like, did you know that my mom does this? And it just makes me feel so good. And my husband, who's always been in chronic pain, loves Panaway, even though he is like, I'm smelly. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be smelly. But your pain's going away. And so that's my story of why. And I did feel like I did a pretty good job of not crying too much this time, but I want you guys to know, like, these products mean the world to me, and this company and this family that I have made through Youngliving. And Lisa, I told you on Saturday, I'm like my son. I will try never ever to let anybody down, and I know you never have any expectations. You guys, this Youngliving family, whether you're enrolled to be a distributor or just buying product, we're all here to help each other, and we're help each other grow and make each other better. And I'm so blessed. So thank you so much.
Oh, Aaliyah, seriously making me cry.
Sorry.
I'm so grateful for you. And
Me too.
thank you for sharing your heart and unapologetically crying, because
Yes.
it's very, it's just so good to hear like your authentic story. And you know what, when you change your child's life, you change so many more lives, because it's so powerful. You can't help but share when something like helps your child. I mean, I think that's why women are so great at this, is because it really affects us emotionally, and like we just need to help people. So so grateful for you, and thank you for.
Thank you. And everybody, I thank you for listening to me and giving me your time. I have to now return back to work, so I am grateful for everybody who joined us. Thank you guys.
Thanks for taking the time out of your day.
Of course.
Okay, up next we have Miranda Brown, who is probably going to make us cry again. She has an amazing story of why she started Youngliving, and powerful, and I'm so grateful that you're on here, Miranda. Where'd Lauren go? Can you unmute yourself? Are you good?
Hey.
Hi.
So I'm Miranda, and I am a silver leader, and I'm a mom of 10. And when I got started, I had 9, and I was incredibly skeptical. I had friends all over Facebook getting started, and I was just watching and rolling my eyes. I was not convinced, because I am a medical mom of a really complex little guy that has a severe heart defect and then numerous other issues going on in his little body. And so we were just up to our eyeballs in Children's Hospital and medications and tube feedings and all these things that looking at oils was just kind of not what I was into. And it took a friend of mine giving me a sample. And so I like to tell people, give samples, because you don't have to do the talking then, because they work. And she gave me some thieves, and my 9 kids didn't get even a sniffle for 8 months. And that was enough proof for me. We had 2 teenagers working at McDonald's at the time, and my little complex guy doesn't have a typical immune system like most kids because of his heart surgeries. And so keeping him healthy was really, really important. And like a simple cold would land us in the hospital time and time again. And it was just really, really a scary time for us to allow our teens to even grow and do their thing. And this thieves oil just blew my mind. And then finally, after 8 months of my friends supplying my oils, I decided to get my own account. And this is where like having your own account and getting started with a starter kit is the best thing, because one oil doesn't actually really transform a whole life. It takes all of them. And that is, I could tell you story after story about these oils in this kit and what they've done for our little boy, like life-changing, off medication. And I just can't stop talking about it because it's pretty amazing. So we ended up going through all these major health changes in our home, from no one getting sick to anxiety and sleep and all those things, helping from GI issues completely changing. And then the same friend that was supplying me oils, I saw her purchase like a big RV trailer type thing. And that got me really curious. I was like, how on earth did you do that? And she said, oh, Youngliving. And that just opened a door for me to see that this was beyond just oils, and that it covered so many areas of your life, not just transforming your health, but transforming your whole financial life. And I've just, from that point, started sharing and just telling our stories of what is working for us and helping people also have that same experience. I can't imagine not doing this now when I see how many things it has helped. We were really, really in debt from traveling to Children's Hospital every month. And it was one of those things where that wasn't going to change for us. It was our new normal, we were a medical family. We needed to be in Vancouver. We had 9 kids. And when you have 9 kids, it's not 1 hotel room, it's 2 or 3, depending where you stay. And this seemed like our way out. I wasn't willing to work outside the home. I was super passionate about being home with my kids. So this made such a huge, huge difference for my husband's load to carry. And so not only did it transform everyone's health, we were able to pay off all our debt. We're able to just bless our kids completely when we want to. Like we don't have to worry anymore. The money is there. Yeah, I think that's it. I just can't imagine not sharing and being rewarded for sharing what I would use regardless.
So Miranda, tell us about what happened last month.
Oh, Bridge to Gold. Oh my goodness, I had been working so hard towards this. So in this new setup, there's like incentives called Silverbound, and it helps you structure your team to get these bonuses every month. And I had already reached silver, but I hadn't reached the next halfway mark to gold. And so I was working really, really hard to get there, and it required your normal silver structure and then 2 legs of 1,000. And I did it, and I'm so excited. It's like this whole crazy suitcase of oils.
Yes, like what, 100 and some oils, 120.
It's crazy.
Like worth over $3,000. So seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
That just means how many families have you helped now?
Oh, like close to 400.
Yay! So good. So good. Congratulations. I love your story. And you just touched on it. She didn't even tell you all the things. She's being gentle on you. No more crying? Is that a thing? So up next, we have Charisse, who's sitting next to Gloria. And she just hit silver. And I'm so excited to hear your story. Yay, Charisse.
Hi, thanks for having me, Lisa. So I have been with Youngliving for about 2 years, just hit silver, which was like super exciting. It's been a goal that we've been working together as a team for a while. So it was really nice to finally hit that. I am a massage therapist. I've been a massage therapist for 12 years. I'm also a single mom of 2 boys. So like I feel Aaliyah's story a whole lot. The summer 2 years ago, being out on my own and stuff, I was really, really, really struggling with like schools and daycares and stuff with my older kid. He's got some behavioral issues. And I was like so burnt out, and I was so tired and exhausted, and I couldn't do it anymore. And I remember going into the pediatrician and just saying like, help, I need help. I don't know what to do anymore. Like I have no other options. And to me, it wasn't like I could handle him, but I couldn't handle a lot of the other stuff that was going on, the meetings with the schools and the reduced schedules and the all like everything. I was like, there was so many assessments and so many things that were going on that I just was like, I need help. And so I reached out to, the pediatrician ended up putting him on medication, which was like a huge defeat for me personally, because I knew it wasn't about him. It was more about giving me a break. And that was like, I carried a ton of mom guilt because of that. And I was like, I beat myself up over and over again. So I reached out to a friend because I've been hearing about Youngliving, and I was like, okay, crazy oil people. And it's one of those network marketing, which I'd been a part of before. I believed in the idea of network marketing, but I also figured that you had to have money and spend money in order to make it. And as a single mom of 2 kids, that just wasn't an option for me. But I did believe in essential oils. I learned about essential oils in school. I learned that there was benefits to them. So I was like, anything that can help and support him, I'm all for. Whether it's like just to support with the medication, whatever it is, I need something to help him, like calm him down. So he started school that year on a reduced schedule. And as a massage therapist, I only make money when I have clients on my table. So he always came first. He was my number one priority, but being a single mom, so is keeping a roof over our heads. I was spending a lot of time going back and forth between the school, helping them out, picking them up. I had blocked off huge time chunks of my day. So my paychecks were not the best. And that was the very first month that I got to well, not the very first, but one of the months where I got to the end of the money before I got to the end of the month. And knowing that there was no secondary income to cover it, I had already been looking at other options. Like I never had a plan B. I was always plan A. I was in grade 10 and I knew I wanted to be a massage therapist. So I've never had a plan B. I knew that as a massage therapist, like my job can end like that. I could slip on the ice, I could do something. And I was like, I don't know how that's going to play out, right? So I was looking for something already. And Jen Burton was kind of like, there's a business opportunity. And I was like, I want nothing to do with MLMs. Like, I'm like, I'll order products, like, I'll see if they work kind of thing, which I ordered the kit, never used. It sat in my cupboard for like 2 or 3 months. And she kind of presented me with a business opportunity. And so she's like, just have a look, just take a look. And so I watched a presentation and I was like, okay, let me learn a little bit more. I watched Why Youngliving, Why Now? And it was talking about how these products were not only products that we love and that are clean and that are super good, but they were also products that were disposable. They were products that we were going to use. We were going to order every single month. So that kind of like piqued my interest a little bit. And I was like, for me, if a message keeps coming to me a couple times over, I'm like, I need to pay attention to this. There's a reason why it's coming into my life. So I had a class and it wasn't for only Youngliving members showed up. And I learned about my kit that day. And because I learned about my kit, which is also the importance, get your people to learn about the kits, because if they don't know, they won't use them. And I was like, I didn't even know there was a bottom layer of the kit, and my favorite oils in the bottom layer of the kit. But I ended up pulling the oils out for sleep that night. My oldest never really slept well. The pediatrician wanted to put him on melatonin, but I was against melatonin because it says only use for like 2 or 3 days. But she was like, just keep using it, it's fine. And I was like, it's an artificial hormone. And I'm like, I'm not going to pump him full. I'm like pump my 6-year-old full of synthetic hormone. So I put the oils in for sleep. And like, when I woke up the next morning, I was like, that was the best sleep of my life. And I didn't really think anything of it, but he went to school, and same like Aaliyah, I got this text message from his teacher that was like, your kid's a different kid. And I was like, I don't know. She's like, it's like a light switch went off. Like he was it was his first green day. And I was like, okay. And so because I had such a good sleep, I continued to use them for that week. And that week was like his first like extension on his days. Like and then by the end of the month, he was in school full time. And I was like, I knew that there was other moms out there that were at the end of the rope. They were struggling. They needed help. They needed support. They needed a community. They needed everything. And so at that moment, I knew I was all in. I knew I was going to be a product user for life. And so I was like, well, why not get my products paid for? So, and I'm like, there's somebody that approached me and helped me when I needed it. And I knew that I could offer that same thing. So I started sharing, the business kind of grew from there. And like where I was at that point in time is like, I couldn't see myself continuing on. I loved massage, but I couldn't see myself continuing on for another 20, 30, 40 years. Like my body was sore, everything was breaking down, but I didn't have a plan B. Like I looked at so many different options and just didn't know where I was going to go. And this kind of gave me like that opportunity to like set goals and to like run for them, and to like the excitement and the growth and like the confidence. Like there's so many different things. And like the person that I was a year ago when I started this business, or a year and a half ago, is not even close to the same person that I am today. And I couldn't even like I can't even describe, I don't even want to think about where I would be without Youngliving. And I know that like, no matter what, and no matter how hard it's going to keep going, I know that there's people out there, like, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that everybody deserves products like these. And there are people that are looking for a way out, and they want that help, and they want that support, or they want that extra income, or they're too scared to really dream or go after their dreams. And I've always been a dreamer. But you kind of like put that on the back burner as you get older, and you just kind of like, this is my life, and you're go in and do the same thing. And like, now I'm like, I couldn't imagine it. I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing the same thing every day, that boring monotony of it. Like, I want to grow, and I want to learn, and I want to expand. So, yeah, that's, I think.
I just wanted to, that's amazing. I have to say, so we had dinner last night, and we were chatting, and we were talking about a picture from, or maybe that was this morning, I can't remember. Anyways, we were chatting about a picture that we took at a leadership retreat. I believe it was a year ago.
In March, like,
yeah. And then she took another picture just recently, and it's crazy the difference in this woman from like a year. And I said, like, you looked amazing in the picture from a year ago. She looked like a total babe. I mean, look at her. She's a babe. But there's just a difference in your being, like in your eyes. And so what did you say? Like last year you were...
I said, somebody had commented like last year on that, saying like, this is what happiness looks like. And I was like, that was what happiness kind of felt like, but this is what peace and contentment actually feels like. Like, I've never been so content in my whole entire life. And I'm just like, I don't know, zen about the whole thing.
Like, that is worth its weight in gold right
Absolutely.
there. Right?
Yeah. The person that it's changed me into, like, I can't even describe. So keep at it. Do the things.
Yes, do the things. Okay. Oh, so good. You guys, all these amazing stories. We could like go on for days, but we won't. Okay, so up next we have Lisa Blackstock, and she's gonna share. She, like, have you guys ever seen the video of the lone nut dancer? I always think like Lisa started this like whole amazing thing, and like when she started sharing, people thought she was crazy and that oils were nuts, and just like, look what you've created. And like, if you didn't say yes to that starter kit, none of us would be here right now, which is just so crazy. And I'm just gonna mention really quick, so when I wanted to get some oils from Lisa, she said she would not sell me single oils and that I had to get a starter kit. And I just want to share the importance of that, because if you're new and listening to this, why it's so important to start with a kit. I was actually introduced to Youngliving like about 2 years before I met Lisa, and I reached out to a girl and I told her, like, I'm dealing with chronic anxiety. My skin is so bad. Like, I'm in chronic pain. What can you do for me? How can you help me? And she sold me 2 oils, and she never plugged me in to a community. She never told me about it. I don't even know to this day if I ever had an account, and she didn't do it the right way. So now she has to watch me on somebody else's team, almost a diamond, because she didn't do it the right way, because 2 oils don't change a life. And Lisa knew that if she just waited and was patient and got me started the right way, that it would make that impact. And it did. And it's changed. Look at all these lives it's changed. So just wanted to say thank you again, Lisa. I love you.
Emotional. So emotional. Because had I have not had the confidence to share like the starter kit or share in the right way, like Gloria wouldn't be where she is. And I'm not saying her work is me, but to introduce people the proper way makes all the difference. And I had done it so many times the wrong way. And when you find that confidence to like say, you know what, the kit is the best way to get started, and you own it, people are going to like, they're going to follow you. They're going to be excited. They're going to be way more invested than just getting 2 oils or whatever the products are that they think they want. They don't understand what this journey is going to do for them, and you do. You know better. So own it. And yes, Gloria, like hitting diamond, like anytime now. I'm ready. So hi, I'm Lisa Blackstock. Yes, I like started 6 years ago. Like everybody else, completely skeptical, had no idea what oils were or what they were going to do for me or my family. And I had no idea how badly I needed every aspect about this lifestyle. I was in a place of complete discontent, and also where everything around you is telling you to just be happy where you are. If you're unhappy, then it means you're not being grateful enough. And so, do you get that feeling from anybody else? Like, okay, I have a great job, you need to be grateful. I have everything, I have food on the table, I have clothes, and I have all these things, you need to be grateful and stop striving for more. So the stop striving for more is the piece that really started to get to me, because I was not content just looking forward to the weekend. I was not content, like, missing out on my children's lives and then going into my boss's office and her telling me that at the end of the day, Lisa, it's just a job. So I was giving up my time with my family, my time with my kids, my memories, my everything, for a job that didn't really matter. It wasn't changing anybody's life, and it sure as heck wasn't changing mine. I had been at that bank for 11 years and had 3 babies in that time frame, and nothing had changed financially, nothing had changed in my heart. And I was almost full-time, but like the people that had been there 10 years longer than me were way more miserable than me. So I did not see a future in that place. And I started to really question, if my youngest is going to go to school soon, he's going to go to kindergarten, and if I don't see myself in here, like in this place in 15 years, what am I doing here now? Why am I building my life on this kind of lie? And I'm not passionate about it. I'm not waking up excited. And when I'm 80 years old, I want to look back in my life and say, I lived. I had a great life. I made a difference, and it impacted people. And I don't want to say that I was just comfortable. I don't want to say that great, that was not what was calling me. What was calling me was something bigger. And it's funny because like when you get that kit and you're so confused about essential oils, for one, not knowing what it can do, definitely had been burned by other companies and had wasted time and money and effort and all the things. When I went to that class and my husband was like, okay, whatever you're going to, fine, like go hang out with the ladies, but don't buy anything because we've been there, we've done that. He was so skeptical. His walls were up, my walls were up. I'm like, don't worry, I'm not doing that again. And I honestly had been through 6 to 8 different companies trying to make a little side income for our house, because we were financially struggling, and we had a boy in hockey, and my father-in-law was funding that. And when Christmas came, by the end of it, we were completely in debt. We couldn't afford winter tires. We were struggling. And then all to that effect, my husband was working graveyards so that when I did work, I actually brought money home instead of just giving it to the daycare. So we weren't seeing a lot of each other, because when he was home, he was sleeping. When I was sleeping, he was at work, and super grouchy, getting like 3 to 4 hours of sleep every day, and then trying to raise toddlers that are screaming, and have the patience for that when you get 3 hours of sleep. So we were not on the same page, and things were not looking good. So now when Youngliving came into my life and I saw that the products worked, not that the other ones didn't, but this was something that I actually grew a passion around, and it didn't feel like I was selling something. And for someone who was really shy when I started this whole journey, I did not want to talk to my friends and just try and sell them another thing. So what had to come first was the passion for me, and the fact that I felt like I was actually making a difference in somebody's life. And when their kids are sick, you can slather on some plants, and you're going to have to put your cape on because you feel like a superhero and you were so empowered. And that's what I felt like I was giving to other people around me, I felt like I was giving them a cape. I felt like I was empowering them to make change in their life that was going to actually make a difference. And I wasn't like, here, buy this plastic, or buy this purse, or buy this thing. It wasn't like a one-time thing. It's consumable. They want it, they need it, and it changes their life. So I did not have to keep convincing them to buy month after month. I mean, when you get in Youngliving and you feel those differences, and your husband goes to completely silent and begrudgingly to stealing your oils and stealing your products, this is actually a need, and even your husbands will want it. So slather them up. But yeah, so it took like a year for me to get to silver, and along that journey I discovered who I was really meant to be. I discovered like my personal power. I discovered that I was able to make an income on my own and not rely on my husband. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but he was the income earner. That was a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he wasn't happy. He was kind of dying, like slowly but surely, like getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep. It really wears on someone's body and on their psyche. And when I quit my job, my next goal was to get him out of that place and to see him flourish as a person and as a dad and as a husband, because he is able to function. And I'm not saying that's everybody's story, but you know what, just to have a little bit more freedom in your everyday to do things that matter to you, whether that's like going to those soccer games or being at their hockey practice or going to their play in the middle of the day at school, or being on those field trips, like all of that makes a difference. And I think being able to have the choice to do those things is so incredible. And like, you know, in the beginning, I just thought I would just get my orders paid for and that'd be great. I had no idea that I was on a journey that would create so much community and so much passion around me. I was just at a class yesterday. Oh my gosh, what was there, like 20 people there? And it's just incredible to sit in a place where there's so many powerful women, and honestly, there's a lot of men now too, but there was all women, and to just feel that energy and that passion. When I started, I felt so alone. And the looks on people's faces when I was talking about essential oils, it's like I had 3 eyes. And like now to see like all of these people speaking the passion that I started with, it's just insane, because no one in this community, like no one here was doing Youngliving. And now it's like, we have like a heartbeat in this community. It's like, if you aren't with us, like you're on the outs, because we're like a force. And I wish all of that for you. If you are growing a new community, don't stop. Be consistent, because it's going to happen. And all of a sudden you're going to look around and there are going to be people like surrounding you, and you're going to have to pinch yourself, because it's crazy what happens when you stick with it. But this opportunity is just everything you think it is, everything you wish there was in the world. Like I have been looking for, like, I'm like, there has to be something in this world where I can make some side income from home and be with my children. There has to be a way, and I was praying for it. I feel like everyone here is here for a reason. There's a calling on your heart, and there's a reason why you feel like there's something more, is because there is. And that this is an opportunity that can help you in so many different ways. Even if it's an extra $200 a month, that to me made all the difference in my life. Even if I was still only making $200 a month and I had these products in my life, that's game changing. So I didn't even talk about any of my health stuff. Oh my gosh. But from like having the worst pregnancies and all of the sickness, and my husband's back pain and missing all the work, colds and flus for 6 weeks at a time with all of our kids going to and from school. It's crazy the difference in your health if you look back over like a year, or look back over a year and a half. All the things that you like don't notice it at first, and all of a sudden they're gone. Your symptoms are gone. All because of switching out chemicals. And we get to do that in the process of making an income and bringing so much more freedom into our lives. And I just think that's so cool. And not only that, we aren't like one CEO at the top. We can only do this. We can only get somewhere and make success if we bring other people with us. And I think that's the best part, is we get to bring all our besties with us, and we all get to rise together. So thank you for joining us on this call. I am so grateful for everyone who spoke and everyone who's here. Thank you.
Just quickly before we say goodbye, if anybody is watching and they are not doing this as a business and they're like wanting more information, I am doing a presentation on Wednesday night for the steps, so the how-tos. So you've got to hear the heart and why we fell in love, why we share. Please join us Wednesday if you want more info. It's open to anybody, so invite away.
Yay.
Yay.
Thanks, guys.
Mwah. Happy Monday.
Such a good Monday.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, everyone.